Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a basic rundown of the history of all the factions of Warhammer 40k. As well as the histories of the Milky Way galaxy from 6 million years ago to the modern day 42nd millennium. Everything that is going to be covered is going to be done very fast, with some generalization and skimming through events. For the most part, characters will also be skipped, but overall I'll try to get the main ideas of factions down. If you want to know more, make sure to go check out my 40k Lore Explained playlist. Woo! Let's just get into this. 6 million years ago, there was a race of Old Ones called Old Ones. They were some space frogs that were hyper advanced and starting to play God and made some species. They were so good at making and altering life that a race of aliens who had an affliction close to hyper cancer asked them for a little bit of help. Unfortunately, they refused to help them and told them it was a simple skill issue and told them to get good. So the cancer-ridden Necron made a deal with a powerful soul-eating race called the C'tan. The C'tan ate their souls and turned them into Terminators, like the ones chasing Sarah Connor, but they had living metal skeletons, becoming a new type of being called a Necron. The Necron used their metal bodies and advanced weaponry and started killing the reptile-like Old Ones, with the C'tan eating the Old Ones' souls and growing in power. Pharaons and other rulers of the Necrons realized that they hated the C'tan and revolted against them. In anger, with the help of the de facto leader of the Necrons called the Silent King, the Necron did a great job at accomplishing their task by killing the C'tan and wasting away most of the Old Ones. Unfortunately for them, there was also a few races that the Old Ones made to fight the Necrons, including the nimble and fast psychically Wraithbone-empowered Eldar, as well as the mushroom-based hyper-intelligent Kroorks who had the power of belief, making it so whatever they believed came true. The Necron decided that it would probably be a good idea to go to sleep and wait out all their enemies for a few million years. In the time since then, humanity has started growing. The realm of souls made out of the powers and emotions of feeling of the souls in the universe in an alternate dimension called the Warp started growing, birthed demons and gods of chaos from it. In prehistory, humanity had shamans, which were their leaders, which were deeply connected to the Warp. This allowed them to have nice psychic powers, but to also be constantly battered down by demons, with their brains opening portals into the Warp, putting them in danger. So all the shamans got together to make a leader for humanity that would take the place of all the shamans and protect them from the Warp. This being was later called the Emperor of Mankind, and he was born somewhere in modern-day Turkey. He helped nudge humanity towards greatness and was its greatest scientist. He did this as the Chaos Gods from the Warp formed and gained power. Khorne, the god of strength and anger, impacted humanity as he made humanity wage war against each other, causing survival of the fittest. Nurgle, the chaos god of decay and the circle of life, spread rotten poxes. He's also stinky. Ew. Tzeentch, the chaos god of knowledge and change, made men go insane from forbidden truths and weaved the fate of the universe. And Slaanesh, the princess, they, them, of pleasure, made humanity give in to its deepest, darkest desires. Each and every one of them were corruptors of all races, and have mortals worship them. The Emperor of Mankind noticed that the Chaos Gods grew in power when mortals prayed to them. For this reason, the Emperor of Mankind was against any kind of religion, with him destroying all the churches he could find and even burning down the last church, while talking to the only priest that was in there before brutally killing him. The Emperor of Mankind and mankind as a whole were doing just peachy keen until the Age of Strife, where humanity was splintered across the stars. Smack dab during the 25th millennium, when artificial intelligence fought against humanity and shut down most civilizations, bringing them to a state near the Stone Age, and medieval time for others, while also having Mad Max happen on Earth. Basically Mad Max, that is. The Emperor making genetically modified human soldiers of many different types, including the Thunder Warriors, which he later all killed, with the help of his guard, the master-crafted Custodians, and the mass-produced Space Marines, with the Custodians basically being demigods on the battlefield, with others being angels of death. He also made a few leaders who were the closest to demigods you could get compared to the Emperor of Mankind. But as still small test tube babies, they were slung across the galaxy and taken away by the Chaos Gods, put on many different worlds. So the Emperor of Mankind had to go around the galaxy getting these Primarchs he made to use as battlefield generals. And when the Emperor of Mankind finally found most of them, they were all grown up, with their own lives and stories. Some hated him, some liked him, and various of them fell to the powers of chaos and began to fight the Emperor, including his favorite son, which led to an attack on Earth, where at the end of the battle he fatally injured the Emperor, and then the Emperor destroyed the son's soul by using his brain power basically putting it into a microwave and blowing it up, destroying his soul forever. The Emperor would then sit on a throne that would help humanity by amplifying his psychic powers. Being almost dead, his best friend, a psychic, sacrificed his soul to keep the Emperor alive. On the throne to this day, the Emperor requires 1,000 souls of psychics to keep him alive, or not dead, since his body has been rotting for 10 millennia. Right before the crusade to get all the Emperor's sons back happened, the Eldar, who the old ones created, were up to shenanigans, and got so perverse due to them being able to control the warp and their souls, that they birthed the Chaos God from their axe, making it so they were no longer able to be immortal, with their empire shattering. And Slaanesh claimed all their souls when they finally do die. The Kroaks had a downturn in their power too, the hyper-intelligence being that once had advanced technology, standing and towering over most other races, became dull and dim-witted, with them becoming hunched and short compared to their smarter ancestors. Millions of years of constant infighting caused them to become increasingly dim-witted, making weapons and vehicles out of scrap. But they're my favorite, because they're just a bunch of guys having fun, with the whole meaning of life for them to just have a good fight. Most of the latest Primarchs went missing for various reasons or died, while all the Chaos Primarchs besides one fled into the warp. And the Empire Man became religious, seeing the Emperor as a god while having its own human-based military, religious military, mechs, and a sect of mechanics from Mars that worship machines, called the Adeptus Mechanicus, and the Anti-Demon Police, which are jokingly corrupted the most by demons. Since then, the biggest thing that changed the universe right as the 41st millennium transitioned to the 42nd is a thing called the Fall of Cadia. I know I did this bit before, but it's Halo Reach. It's Halo Reach. Cadia is the second most fortified planet in human control besides Earth itself. It was near end gatekeeping the demonic forces from getting through a hole in our material realm to the warp through something called the Eye of Terror. The Space Marines of the legions who fell to Chaos started a funny little prank where they wanted to take over the world of Cadia, and allowed the forces of Chaos and greater demons into the Milky Way galaxy. This was basically the endgame of Warhammer 40k lore, with almost every major faction being a part of the fight except the Orcs. A Necron ruler named Trajan the Infinite assisted the Adeptus Mechanicus to destroy the Eye of Terror, while Eldar's ships assaulted the main flagship of the Chaos invasion, showing that Chaos was the true greater enemy of everybody. And they almost won until the leader of the Chaos invasion, one Abaddon the Despoiler, threw his flagship into the planet of Cadia, irreversibly destroying both. This made the Eye of Terror grow in size, bisecting the galaxy in two, with demons splitting out of both sides, in a devilishly evil grin. With the galaxy in one of the worst states that it's ever been in, it seemed like in the great fate of the universe that Chaos was going to rule over all. That all would fall to violence, rot, madness, and perversity, with again humanity being shattered into pieces, scattered across the galaxy. That wasn't until a crack group of the Imperium's best, the Mechanicus' top scientists, and a couple of Eldar went to go resurrect a Primarch. The blue one to be exact. The Primarch of the Space Marines from Ultramar. The Ultramarines, the Space Marines that hail from the Ultramar system. Those Ultramarines. Named Rabute Guilliman. They got Rabute Guilliman out, and now he acts as the functional leader of the Imperium as he tries to get humanity out of the horrible state it's in. He also might have an Eldar girlfriend, but who knows for sure. They talked for a few minutes and didn't want to kill each other. Sounds like good shipping material to me. He also died to his Nurgle-worshipping brother, and then the Emperor brought him back before talking smack. And with his Mary Sue, Blue Boys has been doing a pretty good job getting the galaxy back together. Getting help from the Red Team on the other side of the galaxy called the Blood Angels. But as of recent, a new threat has emerged. One almost godlike greater demon has come out of the Forge of Souls that is looking to destroy humanity yet again. He seems to be the new bad guy for the next few years of 40k's lore, heralding in the 10th edition. There's also a race of blue people that are new to space travel with hooves for feet, that have cool guns like rail cannons but suck up close, not being able to fight melee combat, and also maybe having mind-controlling worms that try to get everybody together in one collective. And oh yeah, there's also bugs that just eat everything and adapt rapidly to every situation, that we know shockingly little about besides that they act like ants and are controlled by large big brain leaders. They also most likely surround the Milky Way galaxy, with them flooding in from the edges, so yeah, yippee! And that's it for a small 10 minutes worth of time. I tried to catch you up, and for the most part I didn't use names, or more tried to cover concepts of the main story. I missed out on covering a lot, including the many details of every faction that make them charming and all evil in their own right. What is your favorite faction that I covered? Do you think I did an alright job at getting everything, and do you think I missed any concepts or content? Or do you have a request for a video I might make? Make sure to tell me in the comments down below. And if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content from it. Till next video, fellas.